Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the bronze medal final between Fiji and Spain. Now, for the Spanish to be in the top four yet again, it has brought quite a few surprises into this competition, and these two sides currently first equal, so all the pressure is now on Argentina, because if they manage to get themselves the win, they can extend that gap just that little bit more, but we will soon find that out. Looking through at the Fijian starting lineup, it will be Josefa Talatholo, Georgia Nasova, Sivo Mothirothangi, Jeremiah Matana, Tario Vailawa, George Balsi, and Felipe Satoranga. So not a huge amount of changes compared to what they did have in their last match up against South Africa, in which they were defeated in the final moments. Francisco Coscuela is there for the Spanish. Juan Ramos, Enrique Bolinciez, Manu Moreno, Joseph Ceres, Jamie Manteca, and Eduardo Lopez there too. So no Paul Pla in the starting lineup. He did come back for that last contest up against the Argentines. A narrow defeat for the Spanish, losing by 7 up against Argentina, which was a lot better than their game prior up against Los Pumas, in which they were defeated by around the 35 points. We have got Robert in the chat. He said, hi, all, and Hamish. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Mikhail is here too. Be great and historic for them to have this victory and another medal. Hope we can see a good match. That's the thing. Even up till this year of the Sevens, for the Spanish to even be a medal contention would sound crazy, right? But they have just beaten so many great sides throughout this year. Last time they played the Fijians, it was actually in this tournament, and they went to Golden Point. They have got a really good shot here, as long as they haven't dropped their heads too much from being defeated in the semis. That can sometimes happen to those underdog teams. You feel like you've climbed that mountain just to be pushed down a peg, and then from there, you just keep on sliding back down. So we will soon find out whether or not that will be the case for the Spanish, or whether they will be able to get the massive victory. But these two teams, of course, they will get 16 points if they were able to finish in third place. Top team who gets the gold will get 20, and the team that gets second will get the 18. A lot of X Factor out there on the park, though. Sivo Mothirothangi felt he had a pretty strong game up against the South Africans. They had just shown that last minute try. Even though the Blitzbox had that red card, they were still victorious over Fiji. And that one would have stung, because up until the last 20, 30 seconds of that game, it did look like it was going to be the Fijians who were able to do it. But speaking of Fiji, on the women's side of things, it will be the Fijiana taking on the Black Ferns in the final. That is happening in about an hour and a half's time, and we will be live on the channel covering that game as well. But do let me know your score predictions for this contest, ladies and gents. I just have that feeling like it's going to be a high-scoring one. The last time these two sides played, it was 21-21 at the end of regular time, and then one more try scored afterwards for the Spanish. I feel like a score around that same amount, 40-ish points, won't be a mile off for this contest. And yeah, hopefully it is going to be an extremely entertaining one. The kickoff for the final is happening in about an hour's time. Argentina taking on South Africa. That will be a thriller. And they play exhausting games. I don't know how that would affect them. Sears, Mikhail. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, Fiji would have emptied their tank well and truly in their last match. Same with Spain. It would have been frustrating. They were so close to being able to get that ball up against Argentina multiple times, and it just wouldn't quite fall in their favour. But yeah. Also, another factor that we should mention, which actually became a factor last night, is the slipperiness of the evening session. It is a little bit underrated. It's indoors, so you would think that that wouldn't be a problem, but it seems to have its own kind of humidity inside of the stadium, and also just on this artificial turf, a lot of players slipping and sliding, so it'll be whoever can keep their feet that little bit better will have the better chance. But 17 points to 14 is the prediction there from Bopello. That's honestly probably not going to be a mile off. But the two sides have run out onto the field, and just like last time, both will meet at the halfway line to do their team huddles, to then get ready to go up till the semi-finals. The Fijians, they were undefeated, getting wins over USA, Uruguay, and the Spanish, whereas for the Spanish, other than losing to Fiji and Argentina, they have been very successful, beating USA, Uruguay, and also New Zealand. So both of these sides have caused quite the commotion. But we are now ready to go for this matchup. Like they are saying, a top 3 finish for the Spanish would be massive. Even top 4, to be honest, is still absolutely huge for them. Looks like once again, the Fijians... I know they're not going to do the team. I thought they were going to do the lift, but I think they only do that lift in the final, if I am correct, for the Fijians. George Selwood, he is going to be the referee in charge of this match. And Fiji will be kicking off from left to right. 3, 2, 1. We are now underway. I not many can pronounce my name. I give you a 10, says Popella. Thank you very much. There's a lot of pressure on now to be able to pronounce it perfectly every time. That ball's going to bounce around and go straight back into the hands of Fiji. We'll now have possession about 40 metres out from the Spanish try line. Jeremiah Matana, I should say. Dropped by Joseph Ceres. Now, Tario Vailawa on the halfway line. Talatholo goes straight through. Manu Moreno tries to get back, but he will not be able to and puts it down between the posts for the first try. I'm rooting for both teams, says Lilia. He wants to bet my national team will lose. Always expect a disappointment, says Optimus. Welcome back. We could have predicted that it was going to be something negative about the Fijians, couldn't we? And here for the Blitzbox, says Tabiso, and we are not too far away, an hour from the kickoff. Of course, that's going to be a 3:05 a.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa, which is crazy in terms of the fact that it is a Sunday night as well. So Monday, in fact, yeah, Monday morning it will be. It's kind of hours that we normally do on the channel, but then we choose to. You know, that's a bit of a rough one if you start work at 7 or 8 a.m. But now Manu Moreno with a big fend on Josefa Talatholo manages to get the ball away as Fiji were looking to hold him up for the rolling maul. Now off to the right-hand side here. Tackle made by Georgie Nasova. He did actually get yellow carded in that last contest up against the South Africans, making it 6-on-6 at one point in time. Manu Moreno once again gets the ball out wide. Tackled hard by George Balsi. Now off to the right. Here for the Spanish, Juan Ramos goes to Jamie Manteca, Eduardo Lopez. Slammed down by Saturangu, almost got himself in an offside position. Referee says, play on. At times, doesn't seem to be an issue for you, Hamish, says Robert. Yeah, I think that's just from getting used to having such broken sleep schedule hours that, like, yeah, it's just we've got used to being up. Like, honestly, every single weekend, with the exception of maybe one, like, we've been up randomly at like 3 a.m., 5 a.m. on a Sunday doing a live stream, so you just kind of become accustomed to it. Now, scrum feed here for Spain. They are going to be about 42 metres out from their own line. They're just showing there about the fact that these two sides have already met, and it was 26 points to 21 in favour of the Flying Fijians. Now back across to the left-hand side. Going to be a good tackle made. I think in the intro I actually said that Spain won that one in golden point time, which will be, of course, probably a comment by now. Going to be another scrum feed. This time it's going to be for Spain. Referee marking it on the turf. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, they are playing on 4G turf, which is why there are so many players with tape all over their knees and their elbows to try and stop the friction burn that you do get by playing on these sort of surfaces. Some of the players have opted for the long sleeve shirts or the thermal underneath, just to minimalise the amount of damage that they have. Juan Ramos with the pick and go off the back of the scrum. Spinning off to the right-hand side here. Quick feet from Eduardo Lopez. Goes to Jamie Manteca. Best game so far. Ooh. I mean, South Africa, Fiji was certainly up there in terms of, like, excitement and unpredictability. I think a couple of those games that have gone to golden point too certainly were entertaining, such as Spain versus Fiji last time. That's a great run down the wing, and Manu Moreno will go in for the first try of the match for Spain. But yeah, I think we've been spoiled for games so far throughout this leg of the Sevens. In fact, we've been spoiled just for rugby in general over the weekend. Super Rugby, having a couple great contests. Six Nations, been entertaining. And also a sneaky game of the URC in there too. I don't get the turf, especially in rugby, says Mikhail. Yeah, it is a bit confusing. But then the other side of things is like Vancouver, right? Canada aren't even in the main comp. They are playing in like a specialty competition alongside Japan and Trinidad and Tobago. But I would have thought that you would host it somewhere that, well, then I guess, no, not necessarily. I mean, we see it in Dubai, Cape Town. Of course, you have got a host in the Fijians, but there are a few locations that they don't have a host team playing. That's going to be a nice spin coming here from Felipe Sautoranga. Puts it on the outside to George Balsi. Lands on top of Balinchies. Now counter ruck coming. And the penalty will go the way of the Fijians. Quick tap taken by Felipe Sautoranga. Had his legs taken out from underneath him by Manteca. Stolen by Spain, but from an offside position. Ramos is asking the question of why he was penalised, but that is because they were never quite back on side. Penalties conceded at the moment is sitting 2-2 for these teams. Currently 90 seconds remaining in the first half. Yeah, we see it there. He didn't retreat first. If he had run up and then had the interception, it would have been completely fine and a clean steal for Juan Ramos, but because he pretty much camped in the Fijian backline, I guess is the best way of describing it, that is why he did end up with the penalty going against him. Now, 65 seconds remaining in this first half. Fiji in a great position on the field. And that ball has come out. Going off to the left-hand side now. Balsi gets the bounce pass. Tries to fend off Eduardo Lopez. And drop ball from Georgie Nasova. A rare error from that man. Still currently leads in terms of the series tries for this year. Oh, trying to find their way through. Finds Ramos on the 50-metre line. Back across to the left. Wide, big, loopy pass. Goes to Manu Moreno, who's been a real handful. Fends off two, breaks through. What a sensational run from the big man out wide. Oh, little bit of a taunt there. Now, taunting is one of those things in sevens that you're very brave to do. And yes, Manu Moreno, he's on cloud 9. He scored 2 tries, but he's just done the shush taunt, which is concerning. Because sometimes when you do a taunt, I mean, we've seen it in sevens before. We've seen a side that decided that they'd try and rub it in a little bit, and then they conceded a last-minute try and lost. There's also an avid rugby enthusiast like you, Hamish. I noticed your name in all your comments. This is the best channel to go to by far, says JT. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. And, of course, we are back each and every week with plenty of streams. And, yeah, we're very lucky with the regulars that we have popping in and out each and every stream. But half-time, the Spanish are leading. I've just realised the scoreboard says 0-0. There we go. That looks a little bit better, doesn't it? 12 points to 7, the score into this matchup. Thought the scoreboard was going to automatically update itself, and it said, taking a break. 3rd place playoff game. Must have been also watching their rugby. But second half, just around the corner, an important one for these two teams. Like I mentioned, the team who finishes 3rd will get themselves 16 points in the overall standings. Sorry, I don't comprehend what a taunt is. So pretty much, like as in the context of doing it, or just what it is in general, what it means. So pretty much, he's done it, like, not in a, it's not to be arrogant, but it's that confidence of saying, like, I'm going to rub it in a little bit more. We do see, like, try celebrations normally, and that's normally after you've scored the try, but that was before he's done it in the context here. So, yeah, pretty much Manu Moreno, he pretty much, as a Fijian player, he broke through 2 tackles. Brilliant run. Deserved the try. But then as one of the Fijians was trying to run towards him in the goal area, he kind of just, you know, one of those. I can't remember who does it in the football, but someone does the shushing quite a bit. I get it, like rubbing them in the face. Yeah, pretty much. But that's dangerous to do in sevens because, like I mentioned, it can change so quickly. Like, we could go out second half, Fiji could score 5 tries. And then who will be shushing who at the end of this fixture? In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised. Fiji are the type of side who will look at that and go, we're going to run around him and we're going to shush him as we score in front of him type thing. But it's hard to do in a game of sevens. One of the best in terms of try celebrations, of course, is the Kenyans. Why is the women's final later than the men's? They did it for the Perth Sevens. I don't know the exact reasoning behind it, but honestly, like for that Perth Sevens, the men's final was extremely one-sided. The women's final was one of the most entertaining games that we've had of the whole competition. So I don't know whether or not they've just decided that's what they're going to do from now on, just switching it around for some of the leagues. But like in this one, it's going to be Fiji versus New Zealand for the women's side of things, a massive occasion. And if Fiji was somehow able to win that, it would be one of the biggest wins, I would say, it would be the biggest win for Fiji since getting that bronze medal at the Olympics in 2020. But now Juan Ramos to put the ball into the scrum, an early error from the Fijians, gives the chance, and they have got the penalty as well here for Spain, or at least a penalty advantage right now going back for it. It's going to be an offside one against the Flying Fijians. I love my rugby, only one of my family, unfortunately, so this channel is my rugby family. Hamish is the best. Says Lilia B. I'm glad Fiji is over for the Box. Your early commentary on that game was very good. I was on the edge of my seat. Excellent friend, says Robert. Yeah, we got very excited for that game. I think it was just the fact that early on it was going at such a frantic pace, plus normally for the matches we get 2 or 3 minutes build up, whereas because we had just finished the semi-final, we were straight into it. So I think I was just setting the tempo from the get-go of how quickly I had to rattle off those lineups with what the commentary was going to be like. But yeah, one of the most entertaining games of this Sevens competition so far, and by the sounds of it, you guys really enjoyed the stream as well. Now Juan Ramos going back across to the right-hand side here for Spain. Eduardo Lopez tries the step, tackled low by Saturanga, ball bounces out. Valencias goes back across to Manu Moreno. Spain doing well to hang on to possession here for extended periods of times. Back to the right. Nicely taken on the halfway line here for Spain. Eduardo Lopez steps back in. Tackled by Jeremiah Matana. I think they were trying to ask for the penalty there, Fiji, but referee says you guys pulled out of it. Juan Ramos, he's got Manu Moreno with him, but instead will go off to the right-hand side. It's a 2-on-3 overlap here for the Spanish. Can't quite split through the Fijian defence. Counter-ruck coming from Fiji, forcing the error from Ramos, who plays the ball on the ground. Refs probably let him away with that one, I would say. And a big shot from Josefa Talatholo. Lopez goes back across to Juan Ramos. Manteca. Ramos again. Goes to Lopez. Low tackle missed from Talatholo. Bounce pass out to Manu Moreno. He's an elusive big man for the Spanish. He always seems to find a way of getting through at least one tackle attempt. Now Big Fan, little pop pass across. They are on fire at the moment, Spain, in terms of just being able to hang on to this ball, not letting it go. And there is going to be the penalty going the way of Spain for Fiji in the breakdown, leaving their feet. Now quick tap taken, passes it off, and it will be the try for the Spanish. And Jeremy Trevor-Thick does get over for it. Yet again, another try here for Spain. But Fiji heavily penalised throughout that game up against South Africa as well. A few of the breakdowns I felt they were a little bit unlucky in terms of that hands down, trying to go for the turnover. Spain muy bien, says Hanoi. And that one has hit the post and bounced away. So the score will remain at 17 points to 7. But 2 tries for Manu Moreno, 1 for Trevor Thick. And we have seen almost 50 passes from the Spanish compared to the 10 of Fiji. Possession-wise, 32 carries to the 5 of Fiji. They're going to struggle to win this game if they can't get their hands on the ball just a little bit more throughout the last quarter of this matchup. Vamos, Espanol, says Fleschen. And big first half, Fiji still in the game though, yeah. Like, even if they're down by 2 tries with a minute to go, Fiji normally, you can't count them out. They've done it many times before, but Spain are certainly making it difficult for them. Another knock on. And it's going to be a scrum feed to the Spanish. Just a few simple errors here from Fiji. And Spain definitely making their mark in the Sevens. Impressive, says Lilia B. Yeah, some people still don't, I guess, appreciate how far Spain's come. But as we go through these leagues, people are learning that not only is Spain, doing extremely well compared to last year, but they're a real contender in terms of the overall Sevens championship. I agree with you, Lilia B. Hamish is the best. I'm pleased to be part of this family too, says JT. Hats off to Spain, showing even more arse in class, says Robert. And yeah, like, I don't know how many big sides Spain are going to have to beat before people start realising how good they actually are. But, you know, they're ticking off the juggernauts. Like I mentioned, they've beaten Fiji before. They've beaten New Zealand. They've beaten the South Africans. That's another penalty against Fiji. They just can't get the ball. And Spain, smartly, going to slow this one down. Imagine Spain won a medal at the Olympics and Sevens. Be pretty good, says Hanoi. Yeah, like, from going as a side that could hardly get into the top 8 in a lot of competitions to now being tied with the Fijians. In fact, they will go ahead of Fiji if they were to win this game. And they'd be probably second overall, depending on who wins between South Africa and Argentina after 4 legs, which is absolutely massive. But the Fijians, they will be frustrated. They just, like I mentioned, can't get their hands on the ball. Every time they try for it in the breakdown, they get pinged for a penalty. The Blitzbox broke Fiji, seems so, says Neil. I wouldn't necessarily say that, because normally third place playoff games, as a lot of people who watch a lot of Sevens will know, like the Fijians are extremely hot and cold in that department. But Spain, once again, deserve a lot of credit rather than what's happened in past games. The Spanish side, they are just doing something that not many people expected them to do. And now passed on the outside. Manteca goes in again. And Spain get their 4th try of the match. The Spanish boys play beach rugby and are good at it, says Fleshin. A 2nd try in Vancouver. The Spanish just going on and on in this match. And Fiji, I think, would have maybe 20%, if not less, of the possession in this match. It's one of those tactics that many sides have tried against Fiji, and a lot do fail. But if you starve Fiji of the position, you win. Last game, Fiji, South Africa, a lot more 50-50. That's why that game finished so close. But 22 points to 7, this game has been anything but. And to think that Fiji, of course, they were the first team to get a try in this match. Elon Musk should fund a rugby comp in the USA. Says Hanoi. I mean, the MLR is slowly growing. That one's going to be bouncing awkwardly. Fiji now have got themselves the ball, but they've only got 30 seconds to try and get a little bit back into this contest. Burst breakdown, Spain join. Referee tells them to get out of it. Now back to the left-hand side. Offloaded, another knock on, this time from Saniela. Passing now Spain, Coscuela. And at the moment, everything is coming off for the Spanish. Looks like this one's going to be as a rolling maul. So is Spain engaged? Yep, they've decided they might as well join it because then it becomes a scrum. It's going to be a scrum fee for Fiji. Just enough time for one last scrum of this matchup. But Spain, they're going to get themselves the bronze and once again adding more points to their overall tally. And hi, Fleshin. Nice to see you, man. Hope you're doing good, says Mikhail. I should mention the next live stream that we have got once this match comes to a close will be at 1:55 p.m. New Zealand time. So that is in 30 minutes time, and that will be the final. We have got 10 minutes of build-up because there is so much to go through for that South Africa versus Pumas rivalry that has been building as of late. And then the final itself kicking off in 50 minutes time. Following that, we have got the match between the women, and that will be New Zealand versus Fiji. Ball is there, and that's going to be another penalty going in favour of the Flying Fijians. Now, Natungu shuffling sideways here, Jeremiah Matana. That was a forward pass. It looks like that one's going to be led away with it, and the Fijians, they will run this one in. Who is the favourite? Do you think Argentina or the Bots? I'll have a quick look, but I do think it would be South Africa. Just because Argentina, a little bit similar to Spain, even though they've got accolade after accolade, people still don't see them as contenders, which I find, like, unbelievable. But, okay, it's going to be no try into the game because of the forward pass. I'm surprised they missed that in real time, but that will make the end score 22 points to 7. So, yeah, in terms of the men's sevens, Argentina are the favourites. $1.40 compared to South Africa, who find themselves $2.75 for this matchup, that has taken place, but 39 minutes away from that contest. going to be a good one when it does take place. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Like I said, we will be back soon for the 2 finals of the Vancouver Sevens. I will see you all for the next one.